Welcome to Debbie Sardone's Cleaning Business Mastermind Group. It's the place where business owners connect, learn, and grow. You'll find solutions, inspiration, and practical advice each week as you tune in and participate.
So let's just jump right into our kickoff call. I don't know why I never really thought to do a kickoff call. It's kind of really odd that I haven't thought of this before, but this is really, I did a kickoff call months and months ago with our initial group, but I haven't done kickoff calls on a regular basis. So what we've done is we've set aside that fourth Tuesday of the month for kickoff calls for anybody new or anybody who feels like, I need a refresher. What are all the benefits that I get as a Cleaning Business Fundamentals member? And so you can always jump in on the fourth call of the month because our mastermind group calls are the first, second, and third call. And of course, I may bump the kickoff call if I'm traveling and I have to move one of our mastermind calls to the fourth slot. So a little bit of flexibility there, but that's what the fourth Tuesday of the month will be used for. So let me just kind of go over some things that I think, number one, our new people will forget very quickly, or it's overwhelming to know how much access you have to information and training and tools. So I want to go over this with you live just to make sure you're taking advantage of everything, because I feel like a lot of people get overwhelmed in business and they don't take advantage of everything we have in this program. So first of all, to our new people, welcome. Welcome to Cleaning Business Fundamentals Life. And we're going to start calling it CBF Life. And if you're ever on Facebook and you want to do hashtag CBF Life when you're referring to the course or the program, then any of us can search it. Like if you're posting on one of the other groups and you just want to make aware of who you are, that's an identifier for all of us. That if Trish is posting or Dan is posting somewhere, if you want to, now obviously we don't want other groups to think you're trying to sell something. We never want to do that. But you can use hashtag CBF Life. And that's basically Cleaning Business Fundamentals Life, which will be different for you than it has been in the past. And that's the whole point of this course, is to change your business and change your life forever. That's the whole point. If you do nothing with it, nothing will change. If you tap into all the resources, all of the training, the mastermind group calls, attend any of the conferences that you can. Obviously, you do have lives and family and limited budgets, but anything you can tap into, please do, because this is specifically designed to hold your hand through the journey of taking your business from where it is today to where you want it to be. Whether it's in 6 months, it's just better than where it is today, or a year, it's where you had hoped it would be in 12 months, and hopefully in the next year or two, it'll be exactly where you want it to be. So CBF Life is what you will be experiencing over the next 12 months. Everybody in the course, all CBF members, access the 16-week video training course. Those of you that have prepaid up front, you can go faster than 6 weeks. Those of you that are making payments, it drips out automatically, one section a week. The whole purpose of that is, and don't feel guilty if you prepaid for the whole thing at one time so that you could work ahead. Please don't feel guilty when you don't work ahead. It's not a condemnation that you actually have a life to live and a business to run and that you can't work ahead. But all I ask is, as new CBF members, that you don't fall behind. So even if you have access to work ahead and you don't have the time to work ahead, please put it on your calendar. Make a personal decision, commitment, and a discipline to watch one video section a week. And you'll hear me say this throughout my entire course. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And how do you finish this course? One section at a time. If you are extremely busy, some of you have new babies, some of you have children, you've got a second job you're managing and trying to grow your business. If you look at the entire course, 16 videos, 2 hours apiece, and you go, oh my gosh, I don't have time, I'm so tired, then it's like standing in front of an elephant and saying, oh, how do I eat the whole thing? I won't even try. So commit to yourself to get through no less than one section a week. And if you take it in manageable bite-sized pieces, if you just tell yourself, I'm not going to work ahead, I'm too busy this week, but I am going to do one section, then you'll do it, because every one of us can carve out 2 hours. The problem is most of us will have a hard time cramming. And when we get behind, it's like, oh, I need to catch up. I got 6 hours to watch. Well, that's when you begin to feel overwhelmed and you allow yourself to get even more behind. So what I would say to that is stop it. Just stop it. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't not log in and watch because you feel guilty that you've let yourself get behind and you feel like you need to spend the whole day watching. Don't do that. Just start wherever you are and put it on your calendar as an appointment, and don't allow anything to get in its way. If you need to do it, Sunday morning at 7 a.m. or Tuesday nights between 7 and 9 p.m. after the kids have gone to bed and everybody's been fed, whatever, just plan on please getting through one section a week. I think that probably the biggest obstacle to people actually implementing these strategies is they allow themselves to get behind, and they watch the videos, they let too much time lapse, so they kind of forget what they learned, and then they try to resume, and then another month or two goes by and they try to resume. And it's that start and stop that doesn't allow you to create any continuity and for you to put all the pieces together as they make sense. So stick with it. You should be finished in 16 weeks. For those of you that joined at level 1, that's what the whole point of these mastermind group coaching calls are for, is so that every week you finish a section, you jump on and ask your question. 16 weeks is 3 weeks on, obviously 1 week off, 3 weeks on, 1 week off for 16 straight weeks. So it's designed to give you 4 months, basically 16 weeks is 4 months of coaching calls so you can ask your questions. Of course, if you work ahead, then that's fine. Then you'll be finished and you'll have a couple more months to ask questions. But at least you'll be asking questions as you complete a section. The Facebook group for level 1 is for an entire year. And if you are past that 12-month mark, we will start ending the Facebook group for those that are no longer in the CBF club. The coaching group for level 2, which is basically Cleaning Business Fundamentals Club, the coaching group is for an entire year for the level 2 and the level 3. So you don't have to worry about that expiring. You've got a whole year to dial in and ask your questions. The notes and the binders that were mailed to you, I'm very curious at the end, and you guys can type an answer in the chat if you're in front of the computer. I really, really want your feedback about those tools that get mailed to you. Obviously, I could tell you to just download them, print them yourselves. I spend the money to print the notebooks and mail them because I really believe having a tangible guideline to follow along is helpful in keeping you focused. You shouldn't be multitasking while you're watching the videos. You really shouldn't be cleaning houses or watching TV or interacting with your family, because there's no such thing as multitasking. That's a myth. We think we can multitask and you cannot. What happens is you literally task switch. You don't multitask. The brain cannot do two things at once. So when you try to do two things at once, you're not multitasking, you're task switching. So what happens is you're focused on the videos, you hear something you really need, and then all of a sudden you go back to watching TV, or you go back to interacting with your children or your family, or answering emails. What happens is when you're answering emails, you are no longer listening to the videos. You're not multitasking. So you literally, while you're reading an email, an upset customer, an angry employee, whatever, your focus is no longer on your videos. And you're not listening, and you are not learning. Then all of a sudden you hear something and like, oh, I need that. I got to back it up. Let me go rewind. Don't do two things at once. If you're going to do anything, use the notebook and have the pages open and kind of follow along. The big manuscript is like 600 pages, and it's all outlined for you and divided for you. It's a very good tangible tool to have on a shelf so that later you can refer back without having to go rewatch a video, or you can look in the manuscript notebook to see where you need to go watch a video if you're struggling with something or you've kind of forgotten, or now it applies to your business, but it didn't apply a month ago when you were listening to those videos. So I'm curious how you use the transcript notebooks if you're using them. I'm curious, and be honest with me, if you just stuck them on a shelf and never opened them. The notes notebook, so there's 2 sets of notebooks that we ship to you. If you're brand new, you'll probably be getting it any day now. But the notes notebook that I ship to you is all blank pages, and it is your guideline to follow along in the modules so that you can take notes, you can make note of your aha moments, and you can make a note of your action items, things that you're like, oh, I got to do that. Why am I not doing that? I need to do that. For example, if I'm talking about rate increases and how your customers' rates are really old and outdated and it's time to do it, an action item for you would be send rate increase letters before the end of the year. So fill that out as you hear things. If you don't, you will forget to do the things that you're listening to in the video that you plan to do because you're trying to get through all the training and you have every intention to send a rate increase letter and you never get around to it. You have every intention of downloading the customer contract and to start using it on all new customers. And if you don't write it down as an action item, you'll never get around to it. So use the notebook that says notes on the outside of the cover. And there's some of you, the early program investors, the people that invested in this program like a year ago, you probably didn't even get the notebook shipped to you because back then it was a little bit lower cost and you downloaded all your own material. But most everybody on this call will have received the notebook or you're going to receive the notebook. And I really do urge you to use that notebook. Another thing in the notes notebook, and Audrey, if you're monitoring the chat and you feel you need to jump in and ask a question as it relates to this before I move on to stuff, feel free to unmute yourself and jump in. But on the notes binder, so you have the transcripts binder and the notes binder. The transcript binder is great for following along if you don't want to look at my face talking for hours on end, or it's just there for your reference material. But the notes binder is really important because it will force you to stay focused. You'll write down little notes. So on the section that just is blank pages for notes, you might hear something that I say and you're like, oh, I'm going to do that, but I have an idea around that. Maybe there's a little something different or a unique spin to it. Write your ideas and notes down. And then on your action items or your aha page, write those down. The action items are things I got to do. I really want to do this right away. And you can later go back to your action items and start crossing them off. It might take you a month or two to get there, but you can start crossing off. Okay, I did implement a rate increase letter. Cross it off. I did implement customer contracts. Cross it off. Aha moments. These are things you don't want to forget. This is stuff that's like, I better never forget this. Aha, I never thought of it that way, or I never thought that was important, or I had no idea about that. So you can write those down too. That's in the notes notebook, and it's divided by modules. And then you can flip over, there's a tab called calls, and that's where you can make your notes. It's just one page of blank notes. And from our group coaching calls, you can make notes there because the things you learn in the group coaching call may not be anywhere in the video series or in the transcripts because somebody asked some really interesting question. Might be about how to sell gift cards. Well, I don't cover that in the basic training. Most of you are not ready to sell gift cards. So you might hear something on the group coaching calls that you want to remember. And so I would make notes also on group coaching calls. back to Facebook real quick. Please engage on Facebook. I'm still not 100% sure how I will, I've got 3 Facebook groups. That doesn't seem ideal because it splits all of our focus. And I would rather have one, but one is free and one is paid and one is for cleaning business fundamentals only. And so I may go down to 2 pages eventually, but make sure you're in all 3 Facebook groups. The Speed Cleaning for the Pros is free for everybody. Anybody, even if they've never taken any of my courses, can jump on there and share and get information. The CBF Facebook is for cleaning business fundamentals only. And then the Mastermind group is for people who have paid to be in the coaching group and maybe they've never taken the course. They're at a disadvantage, but they can be in that group. The Mastermind group coaching calls, for those of you that are brand new, are the first, second, and third Tuesday of the month. The second and third Tuesday, they start at 5, and it's just Q&A. That's it. Ask your questions. The first Tuesday of the month is more of a deep dive presentation, so we start 1 hour early. So put this on your calendar. If you have a Google Calendar or any other kind of calendar on your phone, just set up a recurring event on your calendar for the first, second, and third Tuesday of every month. Allow 2 hours on the first Tuesday of the month. So 4 p.m. is when we start Central Time, which would be 5 p.m. Eastern. And then the second and third Tuesday of the month, we start an hour later. We start at 5 p.m. Central, which would be 6 p.m. Eastern. And, don't sweat it if you can't dial in the first of the month, the extra hour. If you can't dial in an hour early, don't sweat it, because the most important part is that you are there at 5 p.m. Central just to ask your questions. If you can't make it the hour early and you miss the presentation, just plan on listening later on the replay. It's not the end of the world. What else here? And I think I'm going to rename our first call of the month that starts at 4 p.m. Central. I'm going to rename that Anchor Training, because that's really what it is. It's additional information. It's cutting edge. It's things are constantly evolving in the marketplace. So I can create a brand new course tomorrow, and a year from now, there's some new thing that I need to share with you. So on Tuesdays, the first Tuesday of the month, we're going to rename it Anchor Calls. And these are the calls where you get new ideas, cutting edge information. I invite guest speakers to share with you about SEO or print marketing, or Palash has shared with us information on payroll services and so forth. So that will be renamed Anchor Training, 4 p.m., first of the month. Also, be flexible with the Tuesdays, because the reason why I only do 3 calls a month, technically, is I need some flexibility for when I travel. And sometimes I can't work it out plane-wise or speaking engagement-wise, so I might bump our first call of the month to one of the open Tuesdays during the month, either the 4th Tuesday, and we'll just skip a kickstart call, or a 5th Tuesday when there is. So just understand, I ask for your flexibility on our Tuesdays call, but they'll always be Tuesdays, and they'll always be at 5 p.m. Central, or the Anchor Training will start at 4 p.m. Central. And let's see. Please post your questions in the Survey Monkey link, because as we get busier, and you guys know I tend to be a bit long-winded, as we get busier, it's hard for me to just open it up for random Q&A, and it's important to me that everybody that took the time to post your questions throughout the week, that I get through your questions on those coaching calls. Whereas if it's 6:15 and I'm starving to death and you didn't take the time to post your question on the link, then I may just have to cut it off and say, okay, if you had a question and you didn't get in, post it and we'll deal with it next week. You're guaranteed to have your question answered as long as it's in the link. It's depends on how late it gets if you just take a chance and ask it random live. And I don't have a problem with you asking live random, but I will guarantee that we will stay on that call till every question is answered in the SurveyMonkey link. Remember, every coaching call is recorded, and our lovely assistant, Audrey, edits those calls for us. And usually, and I ask her to just upload it within 72 hours, but she's usually got it up there the very next day. I never guarantee it because she also has a life and 2 beautiful boys and family as well. But generally, she's got it up there within 24 hours. So if you miss the call and you've done what you should, posted your question in the survey link in advance of the call, then you can go back and listen to the replay. You never know what crisis you have or last-minute estimate or whatever, and you miss the call. So if you have it posted, I will answer your call live. I'll answer your question live, and you'll get to hear it on the replay. So you'll never miss a thing is what I'm trying to say. Audrey will begin to post the dial-in information and the code for the mastermind group, the coaching calls, in the calendar events. And I'll show you in a minute where your calendar is because you can access the calendar on the member site. So I'll go over that in just a minute. But we will be more than likely changing the code every single week. So you will need to click, log into the member area and click, or we'll have a registration area in case you're going to be on your phone. You won't be in front of your computer where you can go in advance and get that code. But the code will change probably every week. And so you always want to have the most current code to dial in.
Debbie?
Yes.
I also always send out an email every Monday reminding everybody of the call with the dial-in information.
Perfect. Thank you. So if you can't get in front of your computer to check the member area and click on the calendar, then just check your email and you'll have the information there. The other thing Audrey and I are going to work on, and maybe Audrey make a note of this, is we want to text you. And I'd like to know if everybody is actually getting a text with Uber Conference, but we want to text you that the call is starting in 30 minutes. And generally, if you have that text, you should be able to just click and call right from your phone. So anybody that's in front of a computer, if you can type into the chat and let me know if that functionality is already working, if you received a text on your phone. I think the only way that's going to happen is if you register in advance for the call. So Audrey, we've got to look into that and see what we need to do.
Okay. Well,
Go ahead.
If we do what we did with Free Conference and anybody that's on the mastermind group, they always are sent an email from Uber Conference letting them know about the call. They'll get the reminder about 5 minutes before on an email, or maybe even text too if I have their phone numbers in here, and they'll be able to just do it from there.
So I guess we need to find out from Uber Conference, if you enter them into the Uber Conference system, and you enter their cell phone that they're going to be using, will it send them an automatic text? We have a couple
I can make it set to where it will send them a text or even call them. Uber Conference will actually call you when it's time for the phone call.
Oh, I like that. I think most people will want a text, so I would say let's set everybody up to receive a text or a phone call. I don't know which is really better, but let's set it up, and then if they want to unsubscribe from the text, they can let us know. But I think everybody's going to want that.
And I need to make sure I have everybody's cell phone numbers because a lot of people, whenever y'all first signed up, we only had office numbers. And it's all correct in constant contact. But if you will either private message me on Facebook or send me an email at audrey@debbysardone.com or even post over here in the chat, whichever, because we'll have this available for me to look at later to make sure that if you're on the call right now, you can say, I'm on my cell phone if you've called from your cell phone, and I'll know that phone number is your cell phone number. Nobody received a text message today or email because we did not invite people through Uber Conference. I only posted it on Facebook today. So I see Jeannie and Tresha said they didn't receive a text. Well, that's because we didn't send you an invite through Uber Conference today.
Okay, so let's plan on doing that in the future. And that way, if they're in the mastermind group, obviously the ones that are at the level 1 will have it for 4 months. And Audrey keeps track of when that expires. If you're about to expire your coaching group, she'll contact you and invite you to pay to continue for a year. It's included at the level 2 and the level 3. But if you want to stay in the group, you can always pay. It's a month-to-month payment of $197 a month. For those of you that want to upgrade to level 2, because you do want all the bonuses and goodies, I'm only going to offer an upgrade a couple of times a year. If you don't upgrade at the time that you sign up for CBF, it's not really available because I change the offer all the time. I take away bonuses. I no longer offer a bunch of coaching appointments. I mean, there's just only so much time I have one-on-one. And so I'm always changing the offer. So that's why I don't guarantee that you can upgrade because I don't know what I'm going to drop out or what I'm going to add in. But I will plan on offering you the option to upgrade a couple of times a year. And I will say, anybody that's on this call tonight, because you just joined, if you decide, nah, I'm upgrading, I want to be in level 2, then if you'll send Audrey an email before Friday, so this is only Tuesday, you have several days to decide. What we can do if you're making payments is just add that on to the end of your payment. So you're not really going to pay more. It's just that your payments won't end at the date you thought. It will be extended, so you can upgrade to level 2. So no pressure, but if you were kind of regretting that you didn't do level 2 and you want to upgrade between now and Friday, then I will honor the upgrade at what we do now. Now, if you started CBF 6 months ago and you're on this call, the level 2 has changed. So if you want to upgrade, just ask Audrey, and we'll email you the flyer, the details of what the level 2 contains. But it doesn't have one-on-one coaching. But it's got some other good bundles, which I'm going to talk about, that are extremely valuable, so it might be a better fit for some of you anyway. So between now and Friday, if you want to upgrade to level 2, then you'll be in the coaching calls for a year, then certainly email Audrey and we'll get you taken care of. So back to updates for these coaching calls will also be in the calendar. So let me tell you a little bit about the member website. Let's just cover that real quick. When you log into the member website and the level that you purchased at, so CBF Club is everyone from level 2 and level 3. Regular CBF Members is level 1. And, please don't feel like you're not special if you're in level 1. Everybody has to come in at whatever financial and time commitment they have in their life. And so you're just as important as everybody else. It's just that the level 2 has some more bonuses. But when you sign on to your member site, first of all, in your upper left-hand corner, there is a place to put your picture. And you can upload that if you want, but you don't have to. But there's a little gear for settings, and you can click on that and you can update your credit card there. So let's say your credit card is going to start declining because it's about to expire and you have a new one. You need to update your credit card right there. Just click on that little gear in the upper left-hand corner. Yours actually could be in the upper right-hand corner, so either upper left or upper right. Mine's on the left, but I'm an administrator. That's where you can update your credit card. Also, let's see here. When you log in, you will see the tools that are available to you. It's called courses, the courses that are available. Everyone has CBF training. That's where all your videos are. The cool thing about this system, which I just love, this software system. I didn't have this 2 years ago or actually 8 years ago when I started this course. But when you log in and you click on your video training, it remembers where you left off. So if you got interrupted, 40 minutes into video 1, when you log out and go back in, it will save your place. So you don't have to fast forward to get there. So if there's a husband and wife team that are going through this course, let us know, and we will give your spouse their own login, because your spouse will want their place saved in the video when they log out. So just let us know. You also, when you're clicked on your videos to watch, you can speed up. There's a little rabbit that you can click on the videos. So like lesson 3 is where the videos start. Let's see here. If you click on the rabbit, I'm like talking in high speed. And then, of course, you click on the little camera and it's back to normal speed. And if you click on the slow motion, it's a snail where I talk really slow. And so if you were trying to write something down and you had to go back and listen to me, you could click on the slow button and write down what I said word for word if you wanted to. Or if this is your second time to go through the videos, many of you have told me, or many people in the past, probably not you guys because you're new, but the people in the past have said not only have they gone through the entire course, but they've gone back and re-listened. You could re-listen on the little rabbit, the fast motion. So I talk really fast like this, but at least it gets you through, what you need to hear. Also, to the right of your video training is the download area, and that's where you will find the Cliff Notes, which is called Pro Summary. It's usually only 2 to 4 pages, not the big 30 pages of notes that's in your transcript book, but the Cliff Notes. The Pro Summary is there, your table of contents, your module transcripts, and if there is a form that corresponds to that video, it will be right there in the download area. So it's to the right of your video. It's a little tab. You click download. This is also where you can download the lecture. So if you're thinking, oh, Debbie, I don't ever want to lose this information, you can download the lecture. Now, it downloads it to an audio file, not a video. But you'll have the audio forever. Obviously, I know I don't need to say this, but I will. This is for your eyes only. It's for your use only, and you may never share this with anyone. You can't send it to a friend who owns a cleaning service in Timbuktu and they need help. This is copyrighted information. You worked too hard to get it. They need to work that hard to get it as well. So never share it with anybody, but you can download the lectures, and I trust that nobody would take advantage of that. Most courses will never let you download their lectures because they're afraid of the people pirating. But this is such a trustworthy industry. I take my chances because I feel like when you invested this much money, you want to be able to stick it on your hard drive, and if my website is gone in 5 years, you have this information. And this information really doesn't get old. I've been teaching this course for 10 years with slight modifications, and the only thing that really changes are the numbers. So what might be $40 an hour for cleaning today in 5 years might be $50 an hour, but the principles are the same, and you'll be able to figure it up if it is. So that's the download area. You can download all your forms there. Now, here's a little hint. At the very end of the course, when you finally get to your last module, we have one download area in lesson 17 with all the downloads right there for you in one place. So just to make it easy. Back to your content. So when you first log in, everybody has CBF training. Everybody has CBO Mastermind Group. And I think, Audrey, we're going to rename that CBF Coaching Group. Let's just rename that because I think Mastermind Group can be confusing. It's our coaching group. This is where you ask your questions and we share information, victories, things like that. So we'll rename that because I think it is a little confusing. But you will have access to this mastermind group or coaching group for 16 weeks. And if you need an extra 30 days, just ask. If you're like, oh, I'm behind, I want to go back and listen to some of the audios of coaching groups that I missed, then just ask. If you've expired and you need a little more time, we'll give you another 30 days. No big deal. If you have a year's access, then it'll be here for a year. It'll go away after a year. It'll disappear off your dashboard. For those of you in level 2, and bear with me if you're not in level 2, but you need to hear what these tools are in case you decide you want to upgrade. If you're in level 2 or level 3, you have a set of tools in your content area called Level 2 Tools. And I actually need to get an image up there, Audrey. We need an image because right now it just looks like making a movie making image. But it's called Level 2 Tools. And these are tools that aren't accessible to everybody, but they're really powerful tools. Please take advantage of these tools. Don't do it now. Wait till you've completed the entire course. It's too overwhelming to get some of these advanced tools, but you need to know they're here. So first of all, Comprehensive Forms Google Drive. These are all the forms that Buckets and Bows Maid Service has. This is our Google Drive that my office, my company, accesses. So when Megan needs a contract or Carla, my office manager, needs a rate increase letter, they're all there. I can't say that they're perfectly organized, so if you can't find something, feel free to either email Audrey, probably best to email Audrey because I may not see it, and she'll find out where it is. She'll ask Megan, hey, Megan, where do you have the employee contract hidden? And she'll tell us and we'll let you know. I think if you click around in the Google Drive, you'll see where things are. So, for instance, an employee contract is probably under a folder called Hiring because that's when we present it to them. We don't present it to them after they work for us 6 months. We present it to them when we hire them. And so just think in terms of where it seems like it would go. Where would the customer contract be found? It's under sales because that's when we present it at the time of the sales process. So just click around until you find stuff. The trick to Google Drive is you have to have a Gmail account. They're free. Gmail wants everybody in the world to have one. And if you already have an email, let's say it's amy@hotmail.com, then you'll need to go and register some kind of a Gmail account. And, it could be amy123456@gmail.com, whatever happens to be available. If you have a unique last name, it's probably available. But you do need to register for a Gmail account in order to access Google Drive. In the Google Drive, all of those forms are downloadable. There are samples of marketing pieces that I've used over the years. If you're thinking, okay, Christmas is coming up, what are some ideas for my Christmas advertising? Go into the Google Drive, find marketing samples, and just click around and look and see what I've done. Look for my Mother's Day ads. Look for my Valentine's Day ads. Look for my springtime ads. Just get ideas. Now, a lot of them are older in there, and I've got prettier ones and better ones that I've been uploading and that I will be uploading in the next month because I actually fired my marketing director/consultant several months ago, and I've got somebody now directing my marketing program at Buckets and Bows that is actually doing what I asked. So look for those things in the Google Drive. And many of the forms are in MS Word, so you can edit them. You can put your own logo on there. You can do a find and replace in MS Word and replace Buckets and Bows Maid Service with your company name, and it'll replace them in the entire document automatically. So use that comprehensive Google Drive for all the forms. Now, basic forms for even level 1 are in the download area. So of every video, if there is a corresponding form, it's in there for you, no matter what level you are. But this is level 2 tools, and these are all forms. The second thing in the level 2 tools area is the Pro Forma dashboard. Now, I am going to host a recorded call to go over the Pro Forma dashboard on May the 30th. So that would put us, and I realize, oh gosh, that's not Memorial Day. No, that would be the day after Memorial Day, I think. I think it's right after Memorial Day. So May the 30th, I'm going to host a call to explain how to use the Pro Forma dashboard. And those of you that are even remotely advanced, you're going to love this like crazy. It is the coolest spreadsheet on how to project your sales and your growth just by manipulating some numbers. It also automatically calculates customer acquisition cost and retained customer ratios. It's really a cool spreadsheet, and it's under Pro Forma Dashboard. For those of you that want to play with it, you can just download that, and you can probably figure it out when you look at tab number 2 in the spreadsheet. You can probably figure it out on your own. Just don't break the formulas. And on May 30th, I'm going to do a call for level 2 and level 3 business owners to go through that point by point. We'll do a webinar. And of course, it'll be recorded. Okay, then in level 2 tools, the Library of Training Products. This is your bundle of things that are like bonus tools, more advanced tools that I throw in for free for level 2. And you're not ready for these, you don't need them yet. It's too much information right now, but you should have them and you should own them. They basically help build your library of business training tools. If you ever sell the business, it's incredibly impressive to point to a shelf and say, there's my 600-page manual for running this business. There's my pricing for profit training system. There's my speed cleaning for the pros. You know, so it's really good if you ever sell your business, but it's also good to reinforce concepts long after you're no longer in the mastermind group and you're kind of rocking and rolling on your own, because the concepts do not go out of date. The dollars go out of date, some of the terms go out of date, but the concepts don't. And so some of them are digital, and when you click on that area, you can just listen right there. Debbie's Holiday Marketing. There's a PDF of the E-Myth. So there's all kinds of cool things in there. Those were just the bonus materials. And that is under Lesson 3, Library of Training Products Bundle. And most of those are shipped to you anyway, but many of them I don't actually have them as physical, and they're in there as audio, and you just click and listen. And then in Lesson 4 of the Level 2 tools is my employee handbook. Oh, I notice it's not there. Audrey, we need to get that moved. It's in the Google Drive. If you can't find it, there's a place in Google Drive called Level 2 Tools, and that needs to be moved here. So if you'll just make a note of that. I forgot that wasn't in there yet. It's still in the Google Drive, and I felt like it belonged here on the membership site. So that's the Level 2 tools.
Debbie,
and yes.
Jeannie's asking, how long do Level 2 members have access to the dashboard and tools?
An entire year. So you don't have to hurry to download stuff. You have an entire year. And to be honest with you, I have no intentions of ever expiring your link to the Google Drive. So if you save that link in an email, so like send it to yourself in an email, because generally if you don't delete emails, they're there forever, or put it into a document and save it on your computer. If you save the link to the Google Drive forever, then you'll always have access. I won't lock you out of the Google Drive, but I won't guarantee anybody has membership access to the actual member website past 12 months, because I would never want to lock myself into always using this membership website. You know, a year from now, I might find a better website, and you know, you'll lose access because you're not even involved in the program anymore. Hopefully, we won't lose touch with you, but the Google Drive won't expire. So sometime during the next year, download everything that you want to download that's in the member site. And that way, when you don't have access to the membership site, you still have everything. That's a good question. Okay, a couple of other things before, and we're still ahead of time, so I'll open up in Q&A here in just a minute. But the 5th Tuesday, whenever there is a 5th Tuesday, because it's only a few times a year that there's 5 Tuesdays. I don't know, somebody can type into the chat, because you probably know how many 5th Tuesdays there are in a 12-month period. But the 5th Tuesday, whenever there is a 5th Tuesday, we will have advanced anchor training for Level 2 and Level 3. It will be exclusively for that group. Obviously, it's only a few times a year, but we will use that time for additional training. And Please mark your calendar, October 20th through the 24th. First time ever I've done this, and I might decide this is too much work and I may never do it again. But people have been asking if I would ever consider doing Cleaning Business Fundamentals live, because some people don't feel they can discipline themselves to stay focused and watch all the videos, and they lose track and they get busy and they never follow through. So I'm going to host CBF Live. It is a 5-day event. We're going to start it on a Friday, so you don't really miss a ton of the work week. We're going to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So you can fly in Thursday night. You'll only miss work on Friday. You have the whole weekend that we'll work through, and then you'll miss work Tuesday, Monday, and Tuesday, and you can be back to work Wednesday morning. So it's not too much of an interruption for business owners, but I do realize 5 days is 5 days. But it is a 5-day intensive. We will all be in a room together for 5 days, and we will literally go through the entire video course. I think it will be amazing for people who haven't taken the course in a year. I think it will be incredibly helpful for people who took the course and 6 months later, they need reinforcement. They need some motivation. They've already forgotten some of the things they learned because when they learned it, it didn't apply to them. Now they've got 5 employees, and some of the things they learned 6 months earlier when they were still cleaning and had 1 employee, now it's relevant, and they've kind of forgotten it. So CBF Live could be really powerful. My goal is to have it once a year. I can't promise that it'll be 5 days every year. I might whittle it down to 3 days next time, and we'll do a condensed version. But this first one is going to be literally a walk through the program in 5 days. So that means we have to cover, 16 modules in 5 days. And we'll have exercises. It won't be like this boring time. We'll have plenty of fun time as well. But it is literally a walk through the course, October 20th through the 24th. Anyone who has not taken Cleaning Business Fundamentals, it will be a $5,900 registration. It's a $5,900 week. Some of you have heard of the other course. There's another course with Liz and Derek and Tom. I forget what they call it at the moment. It's like CBT training or something. But theirs is like $8,900. And they spend, I think, 6 or 7 days. It's really a long week. And they use a mansion on an ocean, which I think is amazing. But it's like $8,900 unless you're an alumni, and then you can come back at a discount. So this will be $5,900. It's 5 days, and it won't be on a beach, on a mansion. This will be really here to be focused on growing your business, answering your questions, and getting through the material. Somebody who's never taken the course, it's going to be $5,900. I will have some super deals in the beginning when I first roll it out. I might even lower it to like $4,900 for a temporary registration period. Those of you who have already taken the video training, it will be ridiculously reduced for you, or level 2 and level 3, it'll be $100 registration per person, and you can bring 1 guest. So that is a $5,900 week, deeply discounted for every person who's already CBF, and then almost free for anybody who's level 2 and level 3. What else? So mark your calendar, October 20th through the 24th. Also, you get discounts to attend any of my events if you're CBF members at all. And then you get deep discounts if you're CBF level 2 or level 3. And some of you come for free because of the level you're at. So don't forget that. Speed Cleaning for the Pros is June 23rd and 24th. It's not full yet. And if you want to take advantage of that, you can shoot me an email and we'll send you a coupon code to register so you'll have the discount that applies to your level. Okay, I think that's all the benefits. I think people forget what the benefits are of the course, and if you need to go back and re-listen to this later on, it will be available for a while. Let's see. let's open it up for questions, Audrey. Does anybody have any specific questions that you've typed into the chat I can answer? And
I think you've answered any questions in the chat.
Oh, good. Okay.
Or I have.
So basically between now and Friday, if you want to upgrade, instead of have to wait till I roll out an opportunity, which I'll do twice a year to upgrade, if you want to upgrade to the next level, then just send Audrey a note and we'll contact you about that. I'm going to unmute everybody for just a minute and just get a little feedback about the notebook. So if you want to mute yourself out, then you'll have to press *6, I believe. I noticed the SurveyMonkey link above is the same every week. Yes, it's always the same. You can save that on your desktop. You can, you know what I use on my iPhone is I have, what is this called? It's called Notes. And I literally put things in there that I use regularly. So I post links in my notes, and you can just click on it on your iPhone and pull it up if that makes it easy for you, or on your computer. Let me unmute everybody. I think everyone would have to mute yourselves by pressing *6. Somebody got a puppy dog in the background. I'm going to try to find you and mute you. There you go. They muted themselves. Thank you. Does anybody want to give feedback on the notebook, especially if you started the call a while back? Are you using the notes notebook? Are you writing down your ahas, your action items, making notes? I'd love some feedback on the notebooks, because I really have no idea if people are using them, taking advantage of them, or if it's just a big waste of paper. Any feedback?
This is April Story.
Yes, ma'am.
And I love the physical holding of the transcript notebook. I use it often, taking it to jury duty this week.
Good.
But I have my confession is I haven't opened the other notebook at all.
Okay. Well, thank you for being so honest. What I would love for you to try is the next time you're watching the videos, open the notebook to the module that you're at right now. Don't try to go back.
Yeah.
And see if it helps as you go through the
Yeah.
videos to write down action items of things you're like, oh, gosh, I got to do that. Or notes that you want to make sure you don't forget. And see if that helps you stay focused and on track. And let us know if that was helpful.
And I think if I would have heard you talk about this, like right after I got the binders, then I might have implemented that right away. But you talked before I got them, and then when I got them, like I said, I just hadn't opened it. So.
Well, I apologize.
But
obviously, I should have been doing these kickoff calls all along. I think it would have been helpful. I do believe there is a section in the very beginning of the videos that is called Binders and Notebooks. And,
it is.
But I probably don't emphasize it to the point that I did tonight.
Yes, and I really do think that hearing you emphasize it will make a difference for me. So, but I just wanted to give you my feedback that I hadn't opened it. I love the physical, binder. I think that's a great idea. But the one that was full of blank pages, I was like, what?
What do I do with this mess? This is a hot mess. Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, I got ripped off. Yep, depending on what level it is, you don't get any words. No, I'm teasing. But yes, thank you for being honest. And Juliet says she hasn't gotten her notebook yet, so I'm quite curious about that. You should have gotten it by now. My apologies. That could have been my mistake. So Audrey, if you'd make a note to send a note to Alexa at the Clean Team and see if she's ever gotten an order from me. Juliet, there is an area to order your notebook when you first log in, and so I do that just in case I forget, but Audrey will look into that, and if not, I will have one shipped to you tomorrow. So my apologies. But she has been printing the pages, so I'm so glad you've been doing that.
Hey, Debbie. This is Trisha.
Yes.
I just wanted to drop in. I don't have the notebooks yet because I know they're on their way. But when I have gone over each lesson, I love it how when you click on each lesson in each section, how it has where you can input notes, because I have input notes in each one of the lessons. So then I can go back and I can copy them to the notebook once I receive it. But I've already done the notes. So I love how you have that option in there while watching the lessons. So that's kind of my feed.
I'm so glad you mentioned that.
So,
who was that?
It's Trisha. It's Trisha here in Oklahoma.
Trisha.
Yes, ma'am.
I am really glad you mentioned that, because I failed to mention that's one of the features is you can just take notes while you're on your computer listening. You can sit there and type, which is a lot faster than writing.
Yes.
And some people like to write and some people like to type. I'm like you. I'd rather sit in front of something and type. I do recommend, because you only have a year's worth of access, that you later go back and copy and just paste them into a Word document and print them out and stick them in your notebook for additional information.
Okay.
So good. Yeah, awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome. I really, really like that option. It's been very helpful to me. So.
Oh, wonderful. Very good. Let's see. And Janine says, it really helps me to have the transcripts while I'm watching the videos. And she highlights as she's watching. You know what? That's what I do with books. I have my yellow highlighter when I'm sitting on a plane reading a book. And she says, I'm behind and trying to get caught up. You don't have to confess to us. And as you said, don't let yourself get behind. So just don't get too far behind, but no judgments here. Well, I did order it. I recently got an order notice. Oh, good. You could. Well, that's weird. So send your order notice to Audrey, if you could forward that to her so we can look at the date and see when that was shipped. Yours might have been shipped a little bit late, Juliet, because I believe you signed up while I was out of town at a conference, and I didn't get to it till I got back. So, yes, it looks like it's on its way, so thank you for your patience. I apologize for the delay. And the transcripts, okay, Juliet says the transcripts are really great, and I prefer reading to listening. Isn't that funny? So does Craig. Craig loves to read and prefers to read over listening, which I think, hey, Craig, I didn't have a chance to say hello, but I think he's listening tonight. But that's funny. See, I would fall asleep trying to read all this stuff, so I'm glad you like the printed stuff. Excellent. Any other feedback? Because this is very helpful to me to know what tools make it easier for you guys to get through the information. And we really want to hold your hand through this entire process. All of us are here for each one of you. Obviously, I'm here to answer your questions, but everyone in the Facebook group and on the coaching calls is here to also share your good ideas. And one of the things I didn't mention, obviously, you know, it goes without saying, but it does need to be reminded every now and then that everything we share is truly proprietary, and don't ever share any ideas or concepts with somebody else without asking permission of the person that shared it. So we have some of our Cleaning Business Fundamentals members on Facebook sharing really great ideas sometimes. And so rather than go and post it publicly, I remember one time I saw somebody from years ago who took my course sharing some concepts on an open public Facebook group. And somebody said, oh, can I have a copy of that form? And they're like, sure, I'll send it to you. And I'm thinking to myself, my goodness, that's, you know, I spent 35 years creating that. Don't give it away. You paid for it. Don't give it away. So be careful what you share on public groups, and make sure you keep anything confidential that you hear on our calls, because it is other people's proprietary information when they share stuff. And before you share it, if it's somebody else's information, just ask their permission. That's all I ask. All right, it is 6:04. Do we have, let's see, well, I did order, it's on its way. Okay. If we don't have any last questions, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up tonight. Make sure you've joined the Speed Cleaning for the Pros Facebook group, because whenever I Facebook Live, do the live broadcast and set the notifications to notify you, then you can, you'll be able to watch live. If you're just sitting in front of the TV doing nothing, then you can watch me give some after-hours tips. So you are so welcome, Miranda. You guys are all really terrific. I've thoroughly enjoyed getting to know each one of you just in our brief conversations and on the coaching calls. I truly do feel a bond and a love for all of our clients, all of my clients, because your success means everything to me. That is why I wake up and why I do this, is I really want to help you grow. I want you to fix your pain. I want you to fix a broken business if that's what you have, or I want you to just take off like crazy, because I had that same opportunity for me, and I want to help you have that. I'm going to leave you with one thing I'm going to share. This is somebody who just joined the CBF membership, and so they will be embarking on CBF Life. And she sent me a note, and she said, Debbie, thank you for the email with the custom payment link. As you can see in the record, and there's a language barrier here, so bear with me as I read it. She's has a language barrier. But she said, as you can see from the record, I've just joined your course. I finally made the action. I sort of give pressure to myself not to make payments. So what she did was paid in full. She said, I eventually felt deeply that I don't want to be in the same position next year based on today's experience. And I got a notification at like 1 o'clock in the morning when I woke up the next morning that she had signed up for the entire course. She said, I eventually felt deeply that I don't want to be in the same position next year based on today's experience. Today was a public holiday here in my country. People had a day off, even most of the shops were closed, but I worked because as a law, employers in this country have to pay double pay to employees who work on a holiday. So she had to go and clean. I cannot pay the girls that much because I assume no one wants to pay double to have their house cleaned. One of today's clients asked me to do additional tasks, which she does quite often. So I get used to it, and it doesn't bother me. But due to my fatigue and my client's actions, taking a shower right before I was about to go in and clean the bathroom, which was very inconvenient to me, I thought that it was enough, and I really want to be out of the field and focus on managing my business. I look forward to watching the videos and changing my life. I just wanted to deliver my feelings to you at the beginning of taking your course. And I thought this is a very classic example of, and everybody's at different levels, I realize that, but this is an example of somebody who has said, enough is enough. The customers walk all over me. They ask for free stuff. She doesn't have the courage to charge what she's worth. This is a business owner that doesn't know how to not be walked on by her customers. She doesn't know how to ask for more or how to get what she wants or how to charge what she knows she's worth, and she could have turned that moment into an upsell when the customer was asking for freebies. And so that's why we do what we do, is to make your business look different 12 months from today, or 6 months from today, or 4 months from today, or for some of you, 3 or 4 weeks from today. That's why we do what we do. So I love each one of you. I'm rooting for you. I'm excited about you being a part of CBF Life. And let's just grow together this next